Good morning and welcome to a new month of Coffee and Card. We're in October now and the winds are picking up outside and it's a little chill in the air, but I'm looking at some gorgeous trees with some lovely yellows and golds on. So one of my favourite seasons, because I have really bad hay fever, so I love autumn because it's all gone. Right, so this month, the only problem I've had with the Brewed for You set is stopping at 4 or deciding which 4 I'm going to use, because it's so versatile, and I do think we can use it for women and men. Keep following and you'll see. So today we're making this card with the beer. I first made it with the beer on white, but actually I think the Very Vanilla really suits it. It looks more realistic, and maybe as realistic as a stamped image of a glass of beer can be. So oh ale, yes, and yeah, you've probably already spotted the deckled rectangles are out again. I love those. So I shall get started. So I've got all my stamps out all ready to go. Just realised I don't have the inks, and I'm just going to get the dies. So the decal rectangles obviously I've cut for you, but these you need to stamp and die cut yourself. So let's go. Let's get started, as the YouTubers say. So yeah, well, I'm Linda from lindaspapercraft.co.uk, and I'm not sure this bag's going to do. I reuse my bags. We're all thinking about the environment, even though they are paper. Right, okay, so you've got your envelope. So a couple of pieces of Very Vanilla. So this is for your stamping, and this is to go inside your card. And then you've got some crumb cake for your jug, some crushed curry for your beer, and I've used crushed curry. Obviously, if you've got crushed curry, go for it for the beer. And the glass is in early espresso, and that's crumb cake if you want to get your inks out. But if you don't have these colours, then I was looking the other day that either cinnamon cider or bumblebee, if you've got those colours, the sort of last lot of ink colours that aren't around anymore, that would do. So I haven't cut mine out yet out of the deckled rectangles, but I'll have done that for you. And then we've got the background and your card base. So I'll just pop these two together for a start. Find the glue. So, I've not used it for a few days. You always end up with that little rim of dried up glue. Hopefully the tube itself hasn't. Oh, there we go. So, okay, so that's just going to stick on the front there. And then I've got a piece of Very Vanilla to go on the inside. So I'll pop that in. I've not put anything in. You can obviously add a sentiment or even stamp some of the images from the card onto it. From the stamp set, rather. Oops, make sure. Nearly put it on the wrong side. Oh, hiccups. Hiccups. Okay. So there we go. Okay, so that's the card base and envelope put to one side. So those just need die cutting. So let's start stamping. So the sentiment, this time I'm going to use the other sentiment. So that's another round for your birthday. This one I've put I owe you one or several. And this is stamped in early espresso, which I think most of you have. If not, black would do, or a very dark brown. Probably a dark brown would be better than black. I think black might be a bit harsh. Okay. I did try and steer away from the default early espresso for this one, but nah. So, and also the designer series paper is from the He's the Man selection, DSP. So right, and then I'm going to stamp the jug. So that is in crumb cake. I'll get this back out in a second. Crumb cake, crumb cake. Ooh. So that's tone on tone stamping I'm doing here. So it's crumb cake ink on a crumb cake card. So just get a subtle effect, which I really like. And these pictures of ale are never clear, or rarely clear, rather. They're usually some sort of tint on them. Okay, and then I'm going to add the sentiment on this using the early espresso again. That can go back. I sometimes moan that I only have a little craft corner. I just have the sort of one end of the spare bedroom, but it does mean everything's really close. So I can just stretch and it's just there. So, surrounded by shelves of stuff. So I'm just going to stamp that there. Now I've put this stamp on a slightly bigger block than it need be, just so that I can see the edges, I can see where I'm lining that up, so I've got it inside the bottle. But you do need to make sure you don't rock it, because you don't want to end up with edges and things like that. So, but it just means it's easier to line up. I've done the same with the beer as well. So that's ready to die cut. So we're going to do, yeah, plenty of room. So again, we're sticking with the early espresso. There we go. And I'm just going to print that down. Just pressing evenly and gently so that we don't get, because it's picked up some little bits that I don't want to stamp, but it hasn't picked it up because I just put a nice even gentle pressure. And it's just, if you really sort of hammer that down, you will get the extra ink on you, and you don't want that. It's a very juicy ink pad at the moment. I've not had it long. Right, just slowly replacing all my old ones with the new design. I've not got many left to do. And that's the foam that's going to go on it. So that's all my die cutting ready to go. Oops. So if you want, you can just pause the video, go do all your die cutting, and I'll be back with you in a moment. So I've done the die cutting and I've noticed two things. First of all, there's no beer in that glass, so I need to sort that out. And the second thing is, hidden away here is a little hop, which is what we use to make beer, and I've left the piece of card in my envelope, so I'm just going to get that out. So this is a very fine detailed die, and we do double-sided sticky sheets, which are brilliant, and if you're doing big images, they're absolutely amazing. But when I'm doing little things like this, what I actually use is tear and tape, because it is double-sided tape. So I'm just going to put some pieces of tear and tape on here, on a little scrap of old olive this is. Okay, so let's get the die out. Is that going to be, it is, that's enough. Okay, so I've just got a little area there that's got double-sided tape on, and I'm just going to pop that bit through my die cutting machine, which I've had to put on the floor because if it's closed it fits on its shelf, but if it's open it doesn't. So I'm making sure that the die is on the bit that's got the tear and tape on. Sorry, Matt. I will have to check my mat in a minute because it's going all over the place. So there we go. And because it's a bit thicker, because it's got the card and the tear and tape, I'm just going to go through. Sounds like it needs some attention there. I'm just going to pop it through twice, so it's going all the way through. Okay, so let's pop this away. Do you remember the old days when we used to have to check and see if a die had cut? Oh dear. There we go, beautiful. Okay, so just put that to one side and get my pokey tool, or you can use your brush. Don't want that lid flying off again like it did the other week. And I'm just poking through the bits and checking that my mat is straight. All sorts of things peeking onto field of view here. As ever, I've got a mountain of things either side of me that I'm working on. I've just finished designing the cards for November's product class, which is Bottled Happiness. I was convinced it was October's, but it's not. So I am a bit ahead of myself and need to go back and do October's product class, which is, oh, Trees for Sale. Then that's coming out of that die. Still got a few little bits just dangling in there. It does make it a bit more complicated to get everything out because you've got the double-sided tape on. Thought that was the family are out at the moment, which is why I can do this. It's nice and quiet. There we go. Okay, so I'll just get rid of these into my paper bin. And that's ready to go. And I will get my crushed curry ink and put some beer in this glass. To be fair, it doesn't really make any difference whether you do it before or after you've cut it out. I wouldn't say it's any easier or harder either way. So, and always when you've got a two-step stamp and you're die cutting it out, you can do both stamps and then mess up the die cutting, or do the die cutting then messing up the stamps. So the only thing you're going to have to worry about is my head being in the way. So I'm just lining up this with the dimples in the glass. There we go. Perfect. Oh. And now we just need to assemble the card. So I find the best thing to do with the drink is just put a very fine line of glue on the back of the top of the glass. So there's my tombow. I'm just going to do very, very, very fine line. Just there. And then I'm just gluing it so that it's just lining up there. Okay, so it's only just, it's barely touching the glue to be honest, but once it's glued onto the card it will be in place, but that's just holding it. Okay. So just put that to one side and start building the centre. Right, so I've cut this out using the deckled rectangles, which, as I say, are just gorgeous. I'm just using that glue. Here we go. Right. There we are. Line that up, and they layer up beautifully. These, it just gives you a fabulous, it's just a slightly different effect. I really hope you can't hear that wind. It's howling past my window at the moment. Okay, so we're going to be putting that on dimension. In fact, we'll put that on now. So that's going on dimensionals. So, 1, 2, 3. And that just goes at the bottom. And then the jug's on dimensionals as well. So 2, 3. And I'm just going to pop a mini one on the neck of the jug. I think probably a big one would have just about fitted, but there's nothing worse than being able to see a dimensional out the side of something. Ooh, that'd come off and flipped. So one side sticks to the sticky really well. One side of the dimensional cover and the other doesn't. And you want the one that doesn't face down. Right, I waffle, I do apologise. So then I literally popped my ale there. I've got a pussycat running around as well now. So I did have to evict her off my desk to start filming. Oh, she's back. Hello, Dottie. The crafty cat. Let's hope. Yes, it is. Come on. Go on to the windowsill. Good girl. You just see the shadow of her tail whisking about. Whisking, whisking. Whapping, flapping. Right, okay. And I'm just going to pop that. It's actually going to be higher up because of where I put my dimensionals. So, but it's fine. And then, oh, she's back again. Come on, Dottie, you can't stay here. I'm sorry. Come on, beautiful. Let's go. There you are. And then I'm going to put the hop on. So, as I say, I've done this with double-sided tape. And you just need to peel it off. Now that piece is still stuck, so that's one off. Oh, for goodness sake, she is determined. Good job, I'm nearly finished, Dottie. See, not all the family are out. Some of them are still here. So just peeling this off. There we go. And then you're not messing about with liquid glue. And then I'm just going to pop that just there. Okay. And then glue on the back. And that's card number 1 done. I do still have kits left if anybody wants to join. I think this one's in the main catalogue, so it will actually continue till next June. So for any time you've come to watch this, if you do want to get the kit, then you can. Just send me a message. There we go. Okay, card number 1 finished. So I hope to see you soon. Take care. Thanks for watching. Bye.